Welcome to another episode of Listen to Us Rant About Movies. I'm Wes Ford.
And I'm Zach Harris.
We rant about movies and drink while we do it. Tonight, though, we will not be drinking a beer, but on this episode we'll be discussing what we've been watching, followed by a review of Jonah Hill's directorial debut, Mid90s, and Luca Guadagnino's remake of the horror classic, Suspiria.
This podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audio book download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/LTURAM. Choose from 180,000 titles from your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3. And always remember that previous episodes of this podcast are on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and YouTube.
We completely forgot about our forced films for this episode, so we will we'll address those next time. Those films were Lair of the White Worm and Loving Vincent, so look forward to those discussions on the next episode.
Just a couple of forgetful boys, you know?
Yeah, been busy. However, for watch list, I did watch a couple things, squeeze a couple things in there. I caught the new Netflix film Apostle.
Isn't that the Raid guy?
Yes, Gareth Evans.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of his previous films, I don't think. I haven't seen The Raid. I know that gets a lot of praise and whatnot.
Oh, you should watch The Raid. It's fun.
Yeah, I need to. So I guess I didn't have anything to compare this new film to. But I liked it. It's and I went back and forth on it while I was watching it. I think I started out being like, I wasn't that into it until near the end. I was like, I had a lot of respect for it and some of the decisions that it made. And I kind of liked some of the direction that it went in. It's a little unexpected and it's interesting. It's very interesting. It's basically about a drifter who goes on a dangerous mission to rescue his kidnapped sister, and that's tangling with a sinister religious cult on an island. Okay. I think it's an island off of Scotland or Ireland over there. Takes place in the early 1900s. And basically it follows Dan Stevens trying to rescue his sister from this cult. And I won't spoil too much, but it's definitely worth watching. It has almost like a folklore origin to it, nice. Where it comes from. It's almost like an old folk tale told in a modern filmmaking style. But yeah, it gets brutal. It's bloody, and it can be very intense. It has some good horror elements as well, and like I said, I like where it went, and I guess the core folklore aspect of it was appealing to me. So totally worth checking out. Yeah, Apostle. And I know it got a lot of raving reviews from recent festivals. So I was curious to check it out. It's totally worth looking at, I think.
Hell yeah. I've been eyeing it.
It's on the Netflix, easy to watch.
I know. It's long though, isn't it?
It's 2 hours.
Oh, okay. I thought it was over.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
It's like 2:20. Oh, okay.
Looks pretty good too.
Yeah, the trailer looked nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I watched An Evening with Beverly Loughlin, which came out this year. Directed by Jim Hosking, who did Greasy Strangler.
Okay.
Has like Aubrey Plaza and Craig Robinson, Emile Hirsch. But
nice.
I liked it more than the Greasy Strangler, but I feel like I I absolutely love aspects of this guy's movies, but they just always end up falling a little short. Like, very unique style and really good scores that are like really silly. And it's just like a very interesting vibe. I think this one was a little more consistent. Like, it's pretty funny and I like it tonally, but it ends up kind of just ending on a whatever note, which really doesn't make you like remember it that much. But really interesting style, and yeah, worth a watch when it like pops up on something to stream, you know. I'd say Greasy Strangler is probably worth a watch too. The first hour of that movie is like just 5 out of 5. Like, absolutely loving it. And then the end is just like absolute shit. Just like takes a huge nosedive. Yeah, and I was just like, oh, this is like really shitty now. And then you just ruined it. All right. The new one, Beverly Loughlin, was a little more consistent though. I liked it.
Looks like it's available on Prime Video for rent.
Mm-hmm. That's how I watched it.
Oh, that is how you watched it? Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. I haven't heard of this one, but it has a good cast.
It was playing at Calgary when I was there.
Nice.
Definitely worth checking out. It's worth a watch. There's some very, very funny moments in it. It just didn't really quite stick the landing, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But there's some really good stuff in there.
All right. Cool. Another movie I'll talk about, and this is one you brought up on our last episode, but I decided I had to go catch it. That is Sisters Brothers.
Nice.
I liked it a lot. It's
What'd you think?
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Very unconventional in some of its choices.
Yeah,
in terms
right.
Of,
it's really interesting.
Yeah, and where they going against like Western conventions. Still has a great Western element to it. There's some action. There's a decent Western type plot, you know. And it introduces, I won't say much, but I'll say it introduces a technology that I thought was really cool. And I thought that it felt like of the time, but it's something we haven't heard of, and it kind of makes complete sense.
The way that they execute that is really good.
Yeah, totally. I will say there are aspects of it that felt a little messy to me. Particularly that scene where they're trying to use this invention to its extent, and I guess the way it was kind of cut or edited, it felt like there were like parts missing. And maybe that was intentional, but I don't know. I walked out somewhat confused on some like that scene, I guess.
Okay.
But other than that, I really liked the kind of like almost the sweetness to it, you know. John C. Reilly, you don't think he's going to be the main character really, but he is.
He definitely is, and it's amazing.
It's amazing. He does a great job. Love him.
Yeah.
Love Joaquin
They
Phoenix.
even have the scene in the beginning where they're like talking about the like leader of the, I don't know what the phrase he uses, but he's like, you upset because I'm like taking the lead on this one? He's like, no, it's fine. 'Cause he's the one who like makes all the deals or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like weird meta thing that like you don't realize is a meta thing until later when it's like very clearly the main character.
Yeah, it was great cast. Great cast overall. Like Joaquin Phoenix, Jake Gyllenhaal was great. I kind of liked the accent that he put on for this too. It was interesting.
Yeah, he was good.
And Riz Ahmed, right? That's his name. Yes, Riz Ahmed.
Yeah.
He's great.
I love him. He's the best.
I want to see him in more stuff.
Totally.
Yeah. Anyways, it's really worth watching, and it's very unconventional compared to other westerns. In fact, it might even be. I feel like it might turn some people away. Some that are possibly more into westerns.
Potentially.
I think it has that potential. I could see a few people that I know that might not enjoy it as much as I did, but if you, I don't know, if you like finding something different and maybe seeing someone take a genre and throw it in a new direction, this one's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, it's solid.
Yeah. Overall, very much enjoyable. I'm gonna purchase it on Blu-ray, and I'm excited to actually watch it again. It's
hopefully 4K. You know what I mean?
Hopefully, I think it would. It should be, but
yeah, definitely should be.
Yeah, that's the Sisters Brothers. Good film, came out this year.
Yeah. Top 10 material?
Potentially.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Have there real quick sidebar? Have there been any major ones this year that you were like, ooh, that's a top 10er? It's a top 10er.
Oh yeah, I have a few in mind.
Oh yeah, a few in mind, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know if you want to reveal these.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I watched Police Story, directed by Jackie Chan.
Directed by Jackie Chan?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, early Chan, 85 Chan. Early like major player Chan. I think he had been in other stuff. But
when did this film come out?
85.
Okay.
It's yeah, basically you just gotta fucking see this movie. It's amazing. It's so good. You gotta see it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen much early Jackie Chan, and I was like real impressed. It's amazing. It's like a really, really good action movie.
Yeah, is it like a good classic like Jackie Chan, good action, fun kung fu and shit?
And there's good, maybe the best scene in the whole movie. There's just a scene where Jackie Chan is walking and steps in poop, and then he moonwalks and moonwalks the poop off his shoe, and that's the scene.
That's incredible.
It's fucking amazing.
That's incredible.
But yeah, and then like they literally destroy a whole like village. They like drive cars through, and there's just like a shot on like a hundreds of millimeter lens from far away, just like tilting down in a wide, and you just see a car driving through a building and a guy standing on top of the building and just jumping off. It's like, what? And this is not just like one stunt, but happening like now. Again. It's happening again. Like, it's, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's absolutely crazy. It's amazing.
That is hilarious.
There's so many good action set pieces. You gotta check it out.
I will. You watch it on Amazon?
No, I bought it on Blu-ray. Eureka, the UK company, put out a Police Story 1 and 2.
There's a second one?
So I haven't watched. Yeah. There's a weird unofficial third one as well, I think.
What? Never even heard of this.
I don't know what the deal is with the third one. But yeah, it's fucking solid, dude.
I like some good Jackie Chan. So
yeah, man. It sucks because apparently he's like a big dick or whatever, but I hadn't heard that.
Is he?
I guess. Yeah, I was talking to someone about Police Story, and I was like, it was fucking amazing. They're like, yeah, it sucks that he's a huge dick, and I was like, oh, he's a dick? No,
don't say that.
Yeah, damn it. I just watched Police Story.
Come on,
just now.
No one's safe these days.
Yeah, it's you gotta check it out. It's great.
Okay, cool. Police Story. And you have one more to talk about?
Yeah, I also watched what was it? I hadn't decided. I'll just very quickly do two. I watched Blood Harvest, which is a slasher, starring Tiny Tim. And it wasn't very good, but Tiny Tim was in it. He basically plays a weird like the brother of this guy, and he has like clearly some issues, and wears like says he's like a magician and is clearly just like in a complete other world, and very visibly every time he's on camera. But yeah, it wasn't very good. And then I also watched. Have you seen The Visit?
The Visit. Is that the M. Night Shyamalan?
M. Night Shyamalan.
No,
yeah.
I heard good things though.
Yeah, it was like just before Halloween. I was just like looking for something late, just to toss on.
Yeah.
And it was actually pretty good.
Nice.
The kids are not good.
Oh, bummer.
The girl's okay, but the boy is like very annoying and like does like rap scenes where he's like pretending to rap and like I don't know if it's a joke. It's like half a joke, but it's like supposed to be endearing, but he's like very much not. It's just like really stupid. But there's some genuinely like unsettling moments in it that are good. And it's got a solid twist too. Solid twist. Genuinely like creepy ideas, worth a watch.
Nice. All right. Well, I guess we'll get right into our main reviews here.
Or wait. Were we going to do... What was it right before the show that we were talking about that we said... I was like, save it. We'll talk about it on the show.
Blu-rays.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about Blu-rays at all?
Sure. You had something specific you wanted to say.
Yeah. Okay. I was asking... I'm curious... little sidebar. Curious what the availability of 4Ks in store is in Florida.
Well, Best Buy has pretty much everything.
And like, if something is slated to come out, and you're like, "Oh, I'll go after work and get it," and you're like driving home, you stop by Best Buy. They gonna have it out, or like, you gotta wait and see?
Most major releases, that are released on Blu-ray, 4K, whatever, they'll have it. They'll have it on the day of.
Chicago has been slipping hard. And it's garbage because Amazon is also slipping hard.
They are.
And I'm wondering if it's a dead format. It's like, is this the beginning of it dying? I'm not sure. Because every 4K I've ordered off Amazon that's coming out is delayed. And it's been slated like a long time. And they're delayed and then they have them at the store. Like I'll be in Best Buy like the next day and they'll just have it. And it's like, wait, like I thought the release date got pushed back, and it's not that.
Right.
Like I had 2001 coming and I had The Matrix coming, both October 30th release dates. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So like the week before, maybe Thursday, Friday, 2001 release date pushed back month, November 20th. And I was like, oof, that sucks. Like get an email from Amazon, release date pushed back, don't know when we're going to ship it. Okay. Shows up. Didn't get a shipping confirmation, just arrives at my house. And it's like... Okay. And it came on Monday, the day before it came out. So it's like, well, that's weird. So then I also had the Matrix box set ordered. Very excited for that Matrix 4K.
Yeah.
Then get another email that says it's not going to be available for months. So I was like, fuck that. And this is before, 2001. So it's like, fuck that. So I canceled it. And,
wow.
And they had it in Best Buy. But I placed one, I like ordered one online for pickup, And then I picked it up and it was the only copy they had. And I was like, that's weird. And then I looked it up and it's just not available, like in Illinois.
What?
Yeah, or at least like whatever the radius is, like 400 miles around Chicago or whatever,
Yeah.
Just like not available in, like I got the one, I guess, that they got at the store.
Dang. That's crazy.
It was one. And I had to go to like the one kind of by downtown to get it. They got one copy for the city of Chicago?
That's insane.
Of this? It's like, what?
It's a major city.
This format... It's dead. It's dead. And it sucks because it's very nice. And
I know.
I'm loving it.
But here's the thing.
But
I feel like it's slacking on Amazon's part. I know that you said
maybe.
I know that you said there's only one copy in the Best Buy, but most things I've realized I can't really pre-order stuff on Amazon anymore. I have to wait for the release date, and then honestly, I've been buying a lot less Blu-rays than I used to. And now I just go in when I really want something, I just buy it, or I wait till it's already been released and then get it from Amazon. But like, definitely any like Disney Marvel films, You can't get on Amazon if you're trying to pre-order.
Yeah, it's weird.
They're not available. And I think they sort of just like kiboshed that like Disney's maybe trying to control that in their prices.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so for that stuff, I literally have to go to Best Buy for that. I have to pre-order and then get it from Best Buy. Like any like the Avengers, Ant-Man, you can't get on Amazon. You have to get it.
That's weird. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I have seen that like every now and again they'll have like a region B copy or like a region free UK thing that comes up, and I'm always like, why is this a UK version?
Yeah.
But yeah, Amazon's out. I'm out because also shouldn't be shopping there anyway, probably. And
yeah,
I just got the oh my god, The Fog and They Live.
Nice.
On 4K.
They're on 4K? Holy shit.
Yeah, in the UK, but you should get it because 4K is region free, so you can play them. And Escape from New York and Prince of Darkness are coming out this month.
Oh boy.
So
what about the
get
Thing?
On that train, bud.
What about the Thing?
No Thing yet. Arrow owns the rights to the Thing in the UK, I think. So there's an Arrow Blu-ray new transfer. No 4K yet.
Need the 4K.
Need the 4K.
I
just need to buy that thing a fourth time on Blu-ray. You know what I mean?
I know. I have it a couple times. Gotta ask you a couple questions first, though. How's 2001: A Space Odyssey look on 4K?
Fucking great! It looks amazing
because
it is.
I definitely want
just a pristine. Yeah, you should probably buy it like immediately. It's very good.
Okay. That doesn't surprise me whatsoever. How does The Matrix look on 4K?
Did a very brief spot check, watched the beginning, haven't watched the whole thing yet. Waiting for Cassidy. She's never seen it.
Never seen them. Ooh.
Yeah.
What a good introduction.
Very excited to watch them. I know, right? Watch it on a fucking 4K.
Oh my god.
But from what I saw, it looked real nice.
Okay.
But I didn't see a lot of the CG heavy scenes, which I know people said that they were concerned about.
Yeah, I can understand that. But there was a whole thing when it first came out on Blu-ray. The transfer was not good.
Yeah.
The colors were all messed up. So I was curious if they had like fixed some of that maybe.
I thought it looked okay. Yeah, because it was like it was cold on the Blu-ray, right? Like it wasn't green. Was that what it was? That they had fixed the green?
No, it was.
I can't remember.
It was too green. Like the first Matrix isn't even supposed to have a green tint. That came in like in the sequels. The original has like a cold bluish purplish tint. The original Matrix does. Yeah.
I only watched the Trinity scene in the beginning, but I will say it looked pretty green. Green.
No, maybe they turned it green because the original's not. I have it on Blu-ray, regular Blu-ray, and I remember it on DVD. It was it's like a bluish purplish cold tint, and then they sort of Matrix blew up and became a popular thing, and so and the green text obviously in the screen, they tried to incorporate more of that and just made it green. The next two movies, but
interesting.
Yeah.
I guess in the real world as well as I guess I just don't remember. Yeah. I haven't really watched it. My Blu-ray got stolen of it like 8 years ago, so I haven't watched it in a really long time.
Yeah, it's been a good while for me too, but yeah, the whole movie sort of has that look. More so in the Matrix, I think. Just like in Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolutions, it's more green when they're in the Matrix. But even the whole film sort of has a green tint to it.
Yeah. I know they pushed the green in the second two, like, globally more, but I was curious if it was a differentiation between the Matrix and the real world, if the real world was more blue.
You know,
Matrix is green.
Maybe not. It's been a while. You know, in fact, it's probably a good...
I don't know either. I'm just...
it's probably a perfect time to rewatch that trilogy, you know? Needs a rewatch.
Get that box set, bud.
I know.
If it's available in Florida.
It is. I've looked at it.
Just the look on your face, like, yeah, I looked.
I know. I don't spend that much money on movies anymore.
No, I know. Because you're smart.
Right. I just can't afford it as much as I used to. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, but I did. Speaking of that, as I say that, today I bought 2 Blu-rays.
What'd you buy? What'd you get?
I bought Ant-Man and the Wasp because the wife loves that one, and I do want to rewatch it. And I bought Solo because I don't have it, so I was like, yeah, I'll just get that.
I don't have it either. 4K?
4K for both. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But I've been looking at the ones. It's like,
excuse me.
These re-releases in 4K. It's like, I love these movies. I already have them on Blu-ray. Like, got Matrix, got 2001, obviously. Got
box set? Matrix box set or Matrix 1?
I have the box set in Blu-ray, yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah.
Just checking.
So it's like, do I really want to drop that?
2001, though. You gotta do
that one. Is like almost a must.
It's in a nice hard box. You pull it out. It's got a little book. It's beautiful.
It's got a oof. I own 2 copies of it on Blu-ray.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I have a Kubrick.
Do you have it like in a box set?
I have a Kubrick box set, and I have just the single disc one. It was the first Blu-ray I ever bought.
First Blu-ray I ever bought as well.
And I just remember being blown away at the time, like seeing that was like, Blu-ray's the future, you know, like.
Yeah, totally.
Just how I feel about 4K now.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing.
I also just dropped a bunch of money on a new sound bar.
Nice.
So I want to listen to that 4K Ultra HD sound. Yeah,
man.
The UHD sound.
I will say, I'm going to preface your purchase with 2001 by saying I have one very major gripe with this release.
Which release? 2001?
The 2001.
Okay.
So if you do me a favor, just search 2001 4K UHD. Let's go to Google Images.
You talking about the cover? I've seen the cover.
Yeah. Okay. So see this very common HDR sticker.
Yep.
See that bottom left corner?
On the case, yeah.
On many Blu-rays, yeah?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So the 4K strip at the top, because this is a hard box, it's got a little J card. You know what I mean? You peel the card off.
Yeah.
Got no type on the box.
Right. Okay.
The HDR is printed on the box.
What? No.
It's disgusting. It is disgusting.
That's horrible.
This other sticker, see this other sticker across? If you're looking at the one that's like 50, it's the same exact sizing and stuff, and it's a sticker. And the HDR ad is printed, and it's like silver foil printed on the box. So unbelievable.
Oh, I
was blown away when I opened
maddening.
It is disgusting.
Because that's normally a sticker on every disc, you know. It's on the wrapping.
It's on the slip cover.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Right.
But then it's like you know, it's not on the other parts.
Right.
And it's also like, get that shit off the slip cover. Anyway, you know.
It's like a great cover. Why are you gonna cover it up with the HDR shit?
It's like, what's the alternative? To buy the non-HDR 2001 4K? There's only one.
There's only one.
And chances are, if you're buying it, no one's buying it because they go, oh, what's this? It on Blu-ray? Oh, HDR? Well, don't know what that is, so I guess I'll just buy this one.
Yeah, if you're getting the
it's
4K
like, people
UHD,
know.
Yeah, you know it's HDR, yeah.
And you don't need that shit on the goddamn cover. Just put it on a fucking sticker. Like the other sticker that's already on there.
Right.
This is insane. Absolutely insane.
Horrible. All right. Well.
Honestly, disgusting. I'm disgusted by this. I'm also a little vomit inducing. If you search Matrix 4K box set and find one of the breakout images where you can see the individual cover art. Have you seen these?
No. I'm going to it. Hold on. Okay. The individual covers. Interesting. Yeah.
You seen these covers? The one with the bunny on it? The White Rabbit?
No.
Okay. Here we go. I'll shoot you the link over Skype. Anyone who's listening though, just do a quick search.
Do a little search while you're listening.
Just hit that link there, Wes.
Come on.
This is not box set specific, I will also state as well. This is on the individual release under the slipcover.
Okay. Why?
Right? What the fuck is that? What is that? It is disgusting.
It's like...
It is so bad.
It's horrible. It's supposed to be the tattoo that's like in the first movie, right? Like...
Mm-hmm.
It's in... Literally, you see it for less than 5 seconds of a shot.
Yeah.
Why the
even worse
fuck is that on the cover?
Get ready for a worse cover. Here's the Steelbook version that was released. Just take a look at that. Even worse.
Oh my God. the spoon bending. What are they doing?
So unbelievable. Okay, I'm just gonna keep sending these. They're so bad.
Doing this?
Here's the Matrix Reloaded Steelbook cover art with all their heads on the keys.
Oh.
It's like, what are you doing, folks?
Why? Who decided to design this? It's horrible.
Yeah. Hold on to your butts here. Here we go. Matrix Revolutions. Get ready for that.
Oh no.
Coming in hot.
Splash like the liquid.
Yeah, like what is that? Is that supposed to be like the rain that they're fighting in?
I think so, yeah.
It is just so disgusting. Honestly, there's more too. There's more. I can't find a good
What are they doing?
photo of the other two, but they're also of the keys, and I can't remember what the third one is. Oh man, just fucked.
Yeah. All right. Oh, I see one with just like the robot guy on the cover.
Yeah,
Like
I think it honestly might be different though on the actual release. And I'm pretty sure on the Matrix Reloaded in the box set, their faces are in the middle of the key ring. It's just disgusting.
Oh, horrible.
Anyway, just had to turn you on to that. It's pretty rough.
That being said, let me know how it goes with the viewing on 4K, and let me know how.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So,
I'm sure
the first film,
magnificent.
The first film, I love the first film. The other ones, I enjoy them more as like a fan, but like I don't think they're great movies.
They're not. Yeah, I agree.
But the first film is an actual great movie.
Mm-hmm. I do like the sequels, I think, more than most people, and I also do like Revolutions better than Reloaded.
You know, it's been so long since I've seen those two. I remember liking Reloaded at the time more.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
But I mean, I loved Reloaded when it came out, and I watched it many times. Real quick, do you remember the video game? Did you ever play the video game on like Xbox?
Enter the Matrix?
Into the Matrix.
Absolutely, it was amazing.
Fucking loved that game.
There was the hacking mode.
The hacking
mode.
Where
you could enter cheats.
Yes.
So good.
So good.
And then if you beat the hacking mode, you could watch a clip of Matrix Revolutions before it came out.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes. That was amazing.
I remember being so excited to beat the hack so I could see the clip, man.
There was like cool stuff you could unveil like in the hacking mode.
Yeah.
And just like
didn't you get the sword that way?
Get the sword.
You hack it and you get the sword.
You get the sword. And just like you could unlock characters, like you unlock Ghost, right?
Totally.
And that was just awesome. And I love that you could, like, that's such a cool game. Like, you got to play the Matrix and use bullet time and, like, it was badass.
It was a really good game. Yeah. I think I had it for GameCube.
Okay, nice.
I think that was pre-Xbox for me, but it's a solid game, for sure.
Maybe I think I had it on PlayStation 2. Now that I'm talking about it,
Yeah.
it was older than Xbox.
Uh-huh.
PlayStation 2. Yeah, good stuff. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get to our main reviews here. We're going to be talking about first the non-spoilers of Jonah Hill's film Mid90s, starting right now.
I love you, mature women, though.
Get the fuck out of the front of my store.
Fuck you. Fuck out here.
Yo, I'm out. Stay out of my fucking room, Stevie.
Skating like shit today, man.
Look, holding me.
I'm moving.
Stevie.
Yo, check the script. Me and the girls getting whipped. Blunts in the bip, 40 dogs in my lip.
Hey, y'all not supposed to be around here. Get the fuck out.
Hey, the little nigga with the Toys R Us badge, come
You
here.
can't say nigga, I don't think. You fucking Sheryl Crow looking motherfucker.
This is awesome. I've never been in a car without someone's mom or dad before.
You're so cute. You're like at the age before guys become dicks.
Oh, fuck. Yo,
My
what
bad.
the fuck?
That was from the trailer of Mid90s. This film follows Stevie, a 13-year-old in the 1990s era Los Angeles, who spends his summer navigating between his troubled home life and a group of new friends that he meets at a Motor Avenue skate shop. So let's talk briefly, non-spoilers here. Zach, what did you think of the film?
I liked it. I thought it was good. Thought it was very watchable. While I definitely appreciate the runtime being short, I'm very into the 85-minute runtime.
Yes.
This, I felt like I also could have watched this for a lot longer. Thought all the performances were good. It was just pretty solid and watchable. What do you think?
Yeah, I pretty much agree. I felt like it was pretty watchable. I felt like it was pretty well made. It definitely felt of its time. You know, that had lots of cool callbacks, but it wasn't too like gimmicky, which I liked.
No,
I liked how it wasn't gimmicky, and it definitely triggered some memories. You know, I was a little younger than Stevie in the film during this time, and the Ninja Turtles stuff, and like the video games, and just some of the little references. It felt like it was lived in, and I remember that time.
totally.
I also thought the kid was good.
Yeah, he was really good.
He was really good. There's a moment later that I wasn't a fan of. I'll talk about that in spoilers. But other than that, I felt like it was pretty well done. They seemed like kids, and it's another one of those coming of age films that make you look back and be like, God, kids are stupid, and yeah, I'm terrified to have them.
Yeah.
And holy shit, they can do some crazy things. So
Yeah.
yeah. I'm trying to think of anything specific. Would you? And the titles. I'll just say this because I just thought of it. I didn't realize who did the score until I saw the titles.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
It's good score.
It's a pretty good score.
I'm wondering though. I didn't look it up. Did they do the parts that just sound like Philip Glass?
Yeah. It's the more like
really
instrumental, like droning stuff, I think.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't hear that stuff on the score, but there was quite a bit of it, so I didn't know if they just used Philip Glass, because it sounded familiar, but not like instantly like recognizable, you know?
Yeah, interesting.
I would imagine that they would be on the score one if they were them, but I don't know. The score was really good though. I really liked it. And the cinematography was really good as well, I thought.
Yeah, it was. It's sort of becoming a trend now with the 4x3.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, but I don't know. I it's becoming a little too popular now. I don't know. maybe it's a little trendy.
It's definitely trendy.
It didn't use the frame in an interesting way, though. I think like some of the other ones did, though. The cinematography is great, but it was shot like a widescreen movie.
I kind of disagree to an extent.
Yeah.
I thought some of the stuff, I guess while I don't think making it widescreen would necessarily change the movie that much, I do think that there were shots that felt very nice in 4:3. I thought there were some good times where they just kind of planted the camera in like a wide and had some like nice angles, and like specifically the shot where he goes to, well, this is a spoiler, never mind.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess I didn't find it to be super integral to the movie, but I didn't mind it. But I did think that while it didn't do anything revolutionary with 4:3, I thought like it felt composed for that.
I almost felt Stevie did a great job and all, but I think he was played by Sonny Suljic, his name is. I just felt like he was maybe a little too young too for some of the scenarios that he was in.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I just don't feel like in a lot of ways a 13-year-old would act in the way that he did, but they also played off of it as well.
Yeah.
To where some things made sense, but
I
don't know, I thought it was a strange choice to throw such a young kid into like an older kid's environment.
Yeah, because they were in high school, right?
Yeah.
So
he was like way younger than them.
Yeah, it does seem a little weird, and it does also seem like they're aged up playing down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that they're actually older than they're playing.
Right.
Like, I don't know how old they are, but they're kids. But there was a weird casting thing there that was like just on the fringe of believable. Like I feel like it had gone any other way. Because the one friend that he meets initially, I feel like is like an in-between.
He's an in-between.
You know?
He's a, yeah.
Yeah.
That
also,
one,
though, I was going
to say that one felt a little more natural. The age there.
Totally. Yeah, because even I'm like on IMDb looking at them now. Just like he still looks almost exactly the same, and everyone else just looks really old.
Yeah.
You know, like the guy who plays what's the friend's name? Ray, just like looks so much older. You know, like
yeah, totally.
I don't know if he actually is, but shit, what was I gonna say? I don't remember. Shit.
Okay. Well, overall though, I think we both enjoyed it, right? And
yeah,
would recommend. But
definitely.
Yeah, but we'll talk more in spoilers. You sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, we're moving to spoilers for Mid90s starting right now.
You think you're pretty cool. Your ghetto ass friends.
You good?
You think you're tough and shit. You're just a little fucking kid.
A lot of the time, we feel like our lives are the worst. But I think if you looked at anybody else's closet, you wouldn't trade your shit for their shit. So let's go.
That's why we ride a piece of wood, like what that does to somebody's spirit.
Stevie, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm fucking taking your shit!
Yo, Stevie fucking insane. Fuck him.
All right, spoiler territory. The one thing that I felt a little weirded out about this film was the kid hooking up with the girl was a little strange.
Yeah.
It was a little strange to me.
Because how old was she?
She's like 17. I think she's like supposed to be like 16 or 17 in the film. I don't know how old she was. We should look this up. She's like making out with a 13-year-old. It's a
stretch. It's a
stretch.
little weird.
And yeah, I mean, she just kind of goes a little too far with it, you know?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I wasn't a fan of that.
I thought the way that they did it, that they like executed it was good, and the scenes after were funny. But yeah, it was a little surprising, I guess. And
like, there's a way that could have been like hinted at, or like maybe sort of flirted with the idea, but not actually go through with some of the stuff.
Yeah.
Felt a little strange to me. I don't know. That made me feel uncomfortable. That's my biggest complaint, really. Other than that, I mean, yeah.
I thought I don't have a ton else to say.
Yeah, it's hard to really talk about this one.
I thought it was a little too needle droppy, like too many songs.
Like too many 90s beats and songs.
Yeah, not even necessarily like cheeky choices, but just like, this song's sick, you know, and just like just a lot of music.
Right.
And it was also like it was never like music playing. It seemed like it was always the soundtrack, and it was always like chopped to like start and end like a sequence perfectly, when it would have been nice if it more just like existed. And like when they play like Wave of Mutilation, it's like looped at weird parts,
right,
and then like ends the sequence nice. But it'd be cool if, like, not necessarily that scene, but other times they use at like pop song or, you know, songs.
Yeah. That's more like music
just,
editing.
Like, have them going, you know. I guess it feels needle droppy because they're always at the forefront. When if it was more just like, this is the music that the people are listening to, it'd be like, oh, well, yeah, they'd listen to that song because that was like a big song, you know? But
right.
it felt like more of like a curated selection that was always the movie playing it for you, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's more diegetic music that I don't remember, but it felt a little too composed with some of the soundtrack choices.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. I'd say, like, overall, because I don't know what else to say about this film, to be honest.
I guess I have one more thing.
Go ahead.
That I was expecting more of the relationship with Lucas Hedges' character.
Yes, that's a good point. I was too. I
was really expecting it to be mostly about their dynamic, and then him like hang out with. I didn't know that it was like him meeting a new group of people, and that's fine. I'm not, saying that's not good, but I just was expecting more about their dynamic because I thought what was there was interesting. That it was, I don't know, it was more on the backseat of the movie than I was expecting.
Totally. It almost feels like Lucas Hedges his character was underutilized. I feel like there's maybe a little bit more to tap in there, and perhaps if it was a little longer, there would be more room to explore that. Mm-hmm. And Lucas Hedges is a great actor, so it's almost like he just got to be a bully, and that was really it.
Then there's like a couple moments where like there's, tension, and then there's the end. It's like, okay.
I feel like they needed to maybe explore that a little bit more, and maybe tie that into how like having a real life big brother is somewhat compared to like his big brother relationship with the cool kid in the group. What was his name?
Yeah, Ray.
That's hinted at, but it's not like really explored. That would have been more interesting. I think that'll ultimately. I feel like that's going to keep it back from like any prestige type awards. I don't see this maybe getting anything, but it's
probably not.
It's his directorial debut, so I mean, pretty good for a first film.
I mean, I thought it was a solid movie. I liked it. It was just not as it didn't. I don't know. I guess it was just more like fun.
Yeah.
Than I was expecting. Like, it was a hangout movie more. I thought it was gonna like cross more time or something. I don't really know, and I guess that's not fair to like put expectations like that on it. But it just it wasn't quite what I was expecting, and not necessarily negative, but I think it could have been more interesting. Than that.
Yeah.
If you focused on that more.
Yeah. Cool. So, what would you rate this film?
Give it like a 4.
Give it 3.5. I thought it was enjoyable. It was fine. It's I had fun watching it, but it's not something I feel like that's gonna stick in my mind for a long time or anything.
Yeah, for sure. But it's a light 4.
Yeah. Cool.
Fun light.
All right. That's gonna do it for our review of Mid90s. It is playing in theaters right now. Before we get into our second review, I'd like to discuss a special deal from our sponsor, Zach.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. For the listeners of the Listen to Us Rant About Movies podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/LTURAM. Again, that's audibletrial.com/LTURAM for your free audiobook. Now let's get into our non-spoiler review of Suspiria.
At the beginning, she gave me things. Perfect balance, perfect sleep. Oh, she wants to get inside of me. I can feel her. Oh, she can see me.
When you dance the dance of another, you make yourself in the image of its creator.
I feel like I'm not even here yet.
Madame Blank's incredible.
1, 2, 3.
The way she transmits her work.
You have to decide, what is it you want to be for this company?
There's more in that building than what you can see, Doctor.
You're living with dangerous people.
That was from the trailer of the new Suspiria from this year, 2018. It's a remake, of course, of the classic 1970 film Suspiria by Dario Argento. And this one is by Luca Guadagnino. He's known for directing...
Call Me By Your Name.
Yeah, Call Me By Your Name. Did you ever see that film?
I did not.
I did.
Unfortunately, I wanted to.
It's good. Definitely worth checking out. But this one, I'd say, is way different. Oh,
yeah.
But so first, Zach, let's talk about first, what is your, I guess, opinion and experience with the original film? And and then your basic thoughts on the new film and how you think maybe they correlate or don't correlate.
Well, I'm a pretty big fan of the original. I saw it when I was like in a big old horror movie binge, like in high school, when I was like really getting into horror. So I've been a big fan of it, and I generally like Dario Argento. Some of his later stuff, not as much, but I think if you are gonna remake Suspiria, you probably shouldn't try to just make it the same thing, because then what's the point of watching it? But I also think that this one felt like reactionary, where it almost like pivoted the opposite in some way. You know, maybe a little far. I don't know. I'm conflicted about the new Suspiria, but generally I didn't think I really cared for it much.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But yeah, what about you?
I would say that I'm not like a huge fan of the original. I definitely like it. Like I have it on Blu-ray. My first introduction to the film was in college. I definitely like the film and I have respect for it. And to me, it feels more like a stylistic genre film. You know, it's got the great score, it's got a great look, and maybe more flat horror film. That sounds bad, but more forward, I guess.
It's simple.
It's simple.
There's not a ton going on. It's just kind of like a linear story.
Yeah. I'd say with this film, it definitely feels like it's way different than the original, and I'm fine with that. Why make it something the same? But it sort of takes the material, and I feel like it takes those ideas and adds more layers to it, extends it out, and makes it more complex. And my opinion is, I think the new film is much more layered, much more complex, and it's not the same type of horror film at all. It's
oh yeah, definitely.
It's less of a genre piece and more maybe of an art house film that with horror elements. That being said, I overall ended up really liking this film. It took me a while to get to that conclusion. It's a hard film to swallow. You have to think about it. You got to mull it over. But I really do like this film, almost to the point of I think it's imperfect, but I think it's on the brink of being a masterpiece.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I think it's fantastic. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's where we stand on that.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I don't think they were like bad ideas that he made. I guess I just don't know how successful those ideas were for me. Like a lot of the stuff, are we just talking, we're doing non-spoilers now,
Non-spoilers.
Right? I guess I can say this because my complaint is that they drop it soon, that it's witches.
Yeah, and that's like, not a spoiler.
Yeah, no. In the original one, it is.
Right.
Essentially. And I'm not saying that, once again, this needs to have the same structure as that, but, and I do think it's interesting showing the, like, mundane aspects of the way that, like, that works, like, when they're voting and stuff. Like, that stuff's cool. And those are honestly some of the better scenes in the movie. But, like, I guess I just felt like the movie were these, like, multiple storylines that didn't really feel like they, like, gelled. Like, I never got a sense of it all being cohesive. It felt, and I'd say somewhat stylistically as well, there were times where I just felt like I couldn't, like, get a grasp on, like, what it was going for the whole time, you know?
I would say that I think there's a through line concept here, and I think there are some plot lines that sort of deviate from that, and I feel like we didn't need to know some stuff, particularly about the psychotherapist. I feel like we didn't need to have his storyline as much. More on that later. But yeah, mainly that I didn't feel like that needed to be incorporated so much. But this is about these witches, and I wanted to see more of that. And what we did get, I liked how it went more into the witch aspect, and I wanted more. I wanted more of that.
Yeah.
I wanted to know how they worked even more. And instead we did get a little bit of a muddled, complex series of ideas that were thrown at us. Some were effective, some weren't.
Yeah, and like the idea of showing this is a cool idea, and it's just a bummer because I feel like it doesn't get to the point where that felt warranted to see. So it's kind of like, to me, it's like, is this a movie about these witches? Is this a movie about this dancer? or is this a movie about this psychotherapist guy? And I feel like they all take place in the same realm, but the time spent on them feels like unequal, where it felt like they were covering them all kind of generally, but I didn't feel like any like payoff for any of them, really. Like it was two in the middle. Like if it was 3 hours and they like really got into everything like a crazy amount, then I would probably be more in on that than if it was where it's at now, where I just kind of thought it was like too complex. Like, why is it that is this way? Why, you know what I mean?
No, it's very complex, and it's not a simple film to digest or even discuss because there's just so much to unpack here. Another thing that it kind of brings up too, which it didn't do in the original film, is it very much placed it in its time with history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
And I liked that. I kind of liked how it felt very much the plot was almost a result of these historical events that happened. And as they go on and narrate through the film, it sort of mirrors those events. The plot mirrors those historical events.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was interesting. That was very interesting. But that is another idea that's kind of thrown in there. That's it kind of throws in politics in a way into a story about witches. But for that, I felt like it worked. I feel like that was the connection there. Like the dance school is facing the Berlin Wall, you know. But and the idea, I think, of where it's trying to get with the psychotherapist is, well, trying not to get too much into spoilers, but it links them to the witches because there's this theme of feminism throughout, and a psychotherapist isn't listening to these women, and he sort of gets a lesson from that. He gets a lesson because he doesn't listen to these women, and he should respect them. He gets punished and learns from this, but that also results in some other things we'll talk about as well. What'd you think of the score?
I thought the score was good, but I didn't love it.
I felt like it was somewhat uneven too, perhaps maybe like the film, but there were tracks that I love, and there are tracks that I just thought were okay and didn't quite fit.
And there were some weird because I feel like it's kind of in line with a trend of soundtrack and like electronic soundtrack music, which isn't like necessarily a bad thing because it's a well executed version of that, but it does kind of dip into different like pools throughout it, and I feel like that kind of also reflects how I felt like the movie was like kind of divided, you know, just kind of felt like sort of disparate pieces. And it's like I like the vibes they go to, but there were also a few cues that were like very electronic and moments of like weird like throwback stylistic camera moves. Like there's that one really cool camera move when she walks in for the first time and it like pulls up really wide, which is an awesome shot. But then they immediately, and it felt like an old, it didn't, I don't know. And then it immediately does this like snap zoom with like a weird pan like on her face. It's like wow. Yeah. And it just kind of was like, I thought this like wasn't that movie though. It like does it like 3 or 4 times where there's like weird like genre things like that.
Right.
And it felt kind of like winky, and I was just kind of like, I don't know, like I felt like if it was trying to differentiate itself intentionally, I guess. Like it felt reactionary to making something new that like I think there are inspired ideas in the movie, but it was like it's colorful, like not colorful, like, you know, kind of like the score is very like this. I do think it's an interesting idea. I heard the director talk about why he picked Tom York and that just like Goblin being like, you know, a new thing in music soundtracks that like people hadn't done that, and it's like spoke for like the generation. So to find someone in this new generation, like Tom York makes sense, and it's like, okay, I get that decision. I guess it's just I guess it just kind of echoed the rest of the way I felt about the rest of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you said a few things there that I wanted to comment on. But
I'm sorry, I kind of definitely just did a rant there.
That's
had
okay.
no conclusion.
Hey, listen to us rant about it, you know? Well, I guess I'll say I liked the snap zooms and stuff like that. And I feel like the film overall is in some ways paying homage to the original, while also
definitely
kind of commenting and almost critiquing the original as well, and some of the choices that it makes, and then expands on that to a much more complex way. I like the layout of the film, like the 6 acts. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the 6 act structure. And we always talk about too how we enjoy the small, shorter films, but I enjoyed the length of this one. This film needed to be this length, with the ideas and everything it's trying to evoke. Maybe it still wasn't enough time to flesh it out, but I don't know. I liked. It felt like an epic. It felt like almost like a piece of literature, instead of like a normal horror film.
Yeah. I totally get that.
Yeah.
I guess one thing, I just wish he made a different movie. And I'm not saying that I feel like Suspiria is tainted because there's a remake. Like, I don't give a shit about that, you know? It's more just like, I feel like his ideas were held back by this being a remake of Suspiria. And if he just made his own movie that was inspired by it, and you just say in an interview, it's like, yeah, it's a lot like Suspiria, but it's like not anything like Suspiria. You know what I mean? Because like,
I guess,
not
but
that
this
much
is not
that's,
like
really similar.
Exactly. It's not. It is inspired by Suspiria. It's its own thing almost. Like, they're hardly the same film, you know. Like, so he did take those ideas and just like, well, I'm not gonna, almost like better because he didn't try and fake it, be like, oh, I'm copying it. No, he literally made Suspiria, and then he like expanded upon it, you know.
I guess. I just wish he made a different movie about witches that he could have come up with his own narrative. Because it felt like he was trying to add this other stuff in that was interesting stuff, but like the original movie, it's like it is expanded upon. There's a lot more going on. But it's like, I just don't get why that's the story that needs to be expanded upon. Like, it's just like really simple. So I guess I just don't. It's like, if this is a remake of Suspiria and his goal was to remake it, I guess it's an interesting way to go. I just wish that he just was inspired by it and made something else completely free of expectation and like obligation to story elements. You know what I mean?
Yeah, perhaps. I like that it took certain things, like the dancing. The dancing pays a critical piece and part of this film. In the original film, they're just like doing ballet, and it's just a dance school. It has nothing to do with the themes, has nothing to do with the ideas it's trying to evoke. And this, the dance, which has great choreography, I feel like really reflects the themes that it's going for. The harsh movements, the entire, it's not ballet, it's like,
no, it's like
harsh
modern.
like movements, and it's a very unique style of dance, and that literally plays into the witchcraft. It's not just separate from it. It's not just a cover. It is the witchcraft. So I found that very interesting as well.
I felt like on a more technical level in the movie that I didn't like the way that they shot the dancing, because it made me feel like I never got a sense that Dakota Johnson, that's her name, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I never got a sense that she was an amazing dancer from like what I saw in the movie. It cut so much that I never like felt her dances. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Like, there wasn't really much time to like sit back and just like watch her perform, because it was zeroing in on parts of her performance. I never got to actually see it.
I agree. There needed to be some more wide shots with the dancing to really take it in and breathe it in. I agree with that. That leads into another thought. Somewhat of a complaint. I felt like the editing was jarring. There were scenes that were edited very nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Like the dance scene, which we'll get to. But yeah, there were certain shots, and like there's one shot where it like zooms in, like literally the shot is blown up. You can see that it's blown up to a close up on a girl's face in the window.
Oh yeah, totally.
That's just bad editing. That's bad editing.
It was very clearly like they did that and they were like, it'll land when they shot it.
No, it was zoomed in by like 200%. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were just like, yeah, that's not reading for anyone. We're just going to have to do a punch in. You know what I mean? Like, it felt very like it was a Band-Aid. You know what I mean?
Yes. But one that I was like, ooh, as a guy who edits for a living, I hated that.
Yeah, it was not good.
And just some of the editing was jarring. It was jarring editing.
The opening scene especially. And I get that they're trying to like climatize you to the style or whatever, but it was just like sometimes it was cool where it'd be like a flat angle of him closing the book and then it cuts sideways and it's just like, whoa, just all these like weird inserts.
Yeah, the beginning scene was strange. Yeah.
Like, once again, some worked, some didn't. Like some felt inspired, but those moments were taken back by ones that didn't.
Yeah.
Like so it's like I feel like it was like constantly the whole time I was watching it, like balancing itself out.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt at all that the film is imperfect and extremely messy. I will not argue with that. It needs multiple viewings. I need to see it again to really soak it in more, because even it's still fresh. It's still hard to convey good thoughts on it because it's just there's so much to unpack. Another thing to another nitpick on Craft is I didn't like the style, the graphical style of stuff. Like I wasn't a fan of the font. Wasn't a fan of.
Ooh, I like the font.
I don't like how it's so weird and random. Not the title font is nice. Like the the credits type. The credit type. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
that looks
nice. I didn't
nice.
mind that. That was okay.
I mean,
I love the title card, but
I don't like the logo of the full film, like the title. Like the S and the U and the like S down here.
You don't?
Don't like that.
Interesting.
I also don't like the. It almost looked like low res, grainy, like matte shape quality on as the acts go on. Like there's like the design that goes around the frame. It looked very low resy to me.
Yeah.
And like even like the act 1, 2, 3, whatever, those title cards looked very like low res graphics to me.
Yeah.
And that's another nitpick as someone who it's another nitpick. I was like, come on. Get some high res graphics in there. Let's go.
I know. Yeah, they weren't dynamic. It was just like really flat. Like color, like it felt like someone just like made it on a computer and then just like put it in,
right?
Which is like okay, whatever. But the titles at the beginning were so good that I was like,
no, those were good.
Where's that?
Yeah, those were good.
Yeah, what was I gonna say?
And the end credits, same thing.
Yeah,
like the style of the graphics didn't match the film to me. At the end, like the white background, colorful text.
I can't remember what the end credits looked like.
Yeah.
Honestly, I left pretty quick.
It's a long movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just really long to me. I guess I thought there were really cool moments that I'll talk about in spoilers, but after it ended too, it just like was like, oh, okay, still going. And while I appreciate and I don't mind someone doing the 6-act structure, they didn't feel different at all, really, to me. Maybe if I focused on what was happening in each one more, but it didn't really feel, it just kind of felt like they were just like equidistant throughout the movie. Like I didn't get a sense of like this being like a new part. It just kind of was like, all right, and now it's still going on, you know. Towards the end, maybe, but I don't know. It just didn't.
Felt like more for in the beginning for me, like get to the school, end of Act 1, start school, Act 2.
Yeah.
Felt as it went on, I feel the opposite, I guess. Like, felt a little disjointed more as it went on. Like, another half hour passed. Act 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about in spoilers, so let's get to that. But any last thoughts on performances of people or anything that's non-spoilery? What do you think of the performances?
There's a performance thing specifically I want to talk about, but I don't know if I want to talk about that yet.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought people were good. I guess once again, no one really like stood out as like being especially great. I don't think anyone was bad.
I thought I liked Mia Goth. I thought she did a fantastic job.
Yeah, she was good.
She played the friend. I liked what she did.
I don't understand. I thought it was really distracting that Chloe Grace Moretz was in this movie.
You know, that didn't bother me only because she had such a small part. If it was any bigger, I feel like it would have been distracting. I thought she did pretty good. I thought she did pretty good.
She was fine, but like she was like billed as like the second, like I always heard that the first time I heard about this movie is that she was starring in it. And then she's like second build or third build under like Tilda Swinton all the time I'm hearing it. So then the movie starts and I'm like, oh wow, she's just like right in the beginning. And then I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. And then she just never came back. I was like, wait, she's just in the beginning? Like what?
Well,
I don't know.
She comes back.
It's not a complaint.
She comes back if you remember.
Yeah.
At the end, but Tilda Swinton was great. I thought Dakota Johnson. I'm not like a huge fan of her, but I thought she did fine.
Yeah, it's just like she wasn't bad. She's just kind of fine. Just like was in the movie, and once again didn't get a sense that it felt like she like couldn't dance very well, honestly, because it felt like they were cutting around her dancing, to me.
Yeah, it was the cutting. It needed some more sense of space. Then that comes down to directing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the standout for me is Mia Goth. I thought she was fantastic.
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah, and one thing we'll talk about too, I think, which we should touch on in non-spoilers, is another thing that's obviously very different about this one is doesn't have the same look. Now, the original film's known for the bright colors. Very unique for a horror film. This does intentionally mutes those colors, and I don't necessarily mind that. You know, it's making its own difference. Near the end, there's maybe a little hint of stuff, but it intentionally chooses to mute the colors, and I think to focus more on those themes, those heavy themes, and the plot, not distract with, hey, look, we're remaking Suspiria, you know.
Yeah, I like better that it's this way as opposed to just like doing crazy lighting again. Just, you know, it's just like, all right, well, they already did it. Like, why do we need to see that? But once again, I just felt like reactionary, where there are these things that they try to pull the opposite way from the original, and then I think that not necessarily ends up hurting the movie. I don't think it's like a negative, but I like wonder what his idea of this witch movie would have been without these like obligations, because they felt kind of like that in a way.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
Should we get into spoilers?
Yeah, let's get into spoilers. That's gonna end it for the non-spoilers. Let's get into spoilers starting right now.
Three mothers, three gods, three devil. Mother Tenebrarum, Mother Lacrimarum, and Mother Suspiriorum. Darkness, tears, and sighs.
You're making some kind of deal with them.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's all a mess. The one out there. The one in here. The one that's coming.
Where do we start? Let's start. Let's save maybe the ending for later, but let's talk about the casting choice of Tilda Swinton, right?
Yeah.
Did not know that she. It took me a while to figure out that was her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it did.
I
knew it
I
wasn't.
kinda,
I knew it was someone. Like someone different. I was like, who is this? Am I supposed to know who this is? You could just tell something was off.
Yeah.
Then like about a third of the way through, I was like, oh, that's Tilda Swinton. Damn.
Yeah, I guess I kind of went in knowing that it was her.
Okay.
Just because I had heard rumors that it was her, and then I feel
really?
like you can always tell. You can always tell by the lips.
The mouth.
You can always see like a seam on
mouth.
the lip. Yeah, that's always that's the tell, because it looks super good. Like you look at a photo, it's like holy shit, with those lips.
But once I discovered it was Tilda Swinton, I found it uncomfortably distracting.
I think it's very unnecessary.
I found myself I couldn't get lost in the character.
Yeah. I just really don't understand. And I'm not saying it's because it's like a woman playing a man.
Oh, yeah.
Just like that's a cool idea, but it literally felt like, wouldn't that be cool? Sure, let's do it. Like it didn't. I don't understand why that decision was made. I guess it could just be like trying to normalize that, I guess, and not reference it. But which once again could be like coming from a good place, but it just it was kind of distracting, and I didn't really get why they would do that.
It also sort of feeds into the idea that this is a story about women. And you have a woman playing a man that's talking about a story about women. I think that's sort of the intention, but it doesn't matter because you take a step back and the film is being made by men. It's and not that. I mean, I think men should be able. Women should make stories about men, and likewise. But it just sort of becomes disjointed because I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it was really fully thought out. Maybe they're trying to make up for the fact that these men are making this feminist story. And having the woman fill in the man part sort of alleviates that. I'm not sure, but I found it distracting, and I wasn't a fan of her. I thought she did a good job. I don't see why it couldn't have just been a man at that point. I don't know.
It's distracting.
It was distracting.
The whole time I'm just... and that's another thing generally. I feel like I kept being reminded that I was watching a movie. Like I couldn't like fall into it. It didn't like tonally grab me. I didn't feel like engaged. It just I kept being reminded that I was like watching something.
Oh, that I'll disagree with you on. I completely fundamentally disagree with you on that. Yeah. I enjoyed the ride. And I did feel myself lost in it. So
I just couldn't.
Just disagree on that.
I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. I was trying.
I think what fed into me too the environment is very important when you watch a film, especially a new one. Mm-hmm. So I was alone in a theater. There was like 2 other people around me, and I was in a theater I hadn't been in before. It was like because it wasn't playing at my local one. But this theater was really nice. Had like super comfy chairs. I had a Jack and Coke icy drink that I had with me, and some popcorn. I was by myself chilling. It was a Saturday afternoon. I was loving life. So it was the ideal environment for me. So that that definitely fed into my enjoyment of the film. And I was just sort of ready to sit back and enjoy this like long film. So I think that fed into it as well. But yeah, either way, I did feel like the ride was nice for me. And I, especially when it gets to what I was talking about earlier, the dance scene where the spell is being cast as she's like doing the dance. I was like, holy shit.
That scene's amazing.
I was like, fucking holy shit. Yeah, it was amazing. It felt very much like a subtle like art house film up until that moment, and it was like this is a horror film that's terrifying, and it goes on for a long time. You can't look away. It's grueling, and I like the cross-cutting with the dancing. I think that's the best scene in the whole movie for sure. I agree. So that roped me in right away. I was like, okay, I'm ready for more. Yeah, that was good stuff.
How was the sound when you saw it?
It sounded really good to me.
I saw it at the music box. Maybe it was just the sound at the music box, but I found it like very hard to understand everyone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just felt like everyone was mumbling. It's like walking around. Blah, 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 blah.
I didn't have that problem at all.
Okay, so maybe that's just a presentation thing, because I was like, what? Because everything else was very loud, so it was like a weird. It wasn't like, oh, the sound's really low, I can't hear it. Maybe their speakers were fucked up or something, but I just like literally couldn't. I had trouble like understanding what people were saying.
The only thing I had a hard time understanding was Tilda Swinton sometimes when she was playing Dr. Joseph Klimperer. She tried to do like a man voice with like an accent, and another layer of distracting. She muffled a little bit. She mumbled and like it talked like that. That was that was hard to understand, but other than that, I could hear everything.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I also. No,
go ahead.
What was I gonna say? We also haven't talked about Tilda Swinton as the weird fucking crazy head witch lady.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and I guess get to the ending. So yeah, start with that. What'd you think of that whole thing? Helena Marcos.
Yeah, I thought that was she looked scary and stuff, and
the prosthetics were crazy, like juice squirting out of her.
Really weird. She had like weird like baby arms growing out and shit, and it was very strange.
I liked it.
I didn't necessarily I didn't dislike it. It felt like part of a different movie kind of.
The whole ending,
I wasn't
you mean?
Yeah, and I guess I wasn't it's not like a terrible thing, but it also felt like the way I didn't really like the way it was shot.
I agree.
I felt like the ending they like tried to like save in the edit. You know what I mean? Like they just like tinted everything red and then like put that like weird like strobing effect on it, because it was very strange and unlike the rest of the movie. Like lots of handheld, like really shaky walking around with like a really wide lens when all this crazy stuff was happening. And I guess I just like I get trying to differentiate it, but it felt patched to me.
It in some ways it was similar in other parts of the film where, and I guess I should have said this earlier, but it feels like it's from a different time. Like the whole movie felt like it's not of this era, and that I really kind of liked about it. But in some ways it's to its fault, and in that scene in particular, the ending, like the editing, the style, and everything felt like an older film in a bad way. Like the craft wasn't exactly fully there for shooting that, and it was like we hadn't learned how to shoot stuff for this particular style yet, or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like he doesn't know how to shoot. I mean, that's a hard scene to shoot. It's like people convulsing and like
how do you make it intense and
everyone's head's exploding, and how do you shoot like one person slowly walking around blowing up everyone's head? Like, I don't know, but like if you're making this movie, you should probably do it in a way that's interesting,
right?
Instead of just tinting it red and like putting like a strobe effect on it, you know?
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it. I guess I really liked the idea of that whole thing more than the actual craft of it.
Yeah.
The whole like swirling, wide shot swirling in red was too much. But before that happens, like Dakota Johnson walking in and sort of claiming Steak as the main witch.
Yeah.
And everyone in that like weird, like the wide shot when it's full color of like all the women like in like this dance pose
all
almost
wrapped together. Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
They like unrolled. Yeah, it was
it's spooky. It's like it felt like, oh shit, this is the hive of the witches, you know, like it felt very demonic. That I really liked.
It's cool.
I like how it felt way more witch heavy in this film.
Yeah, and I like that's a cool idea. I just didn't I didn't feel successful as like a movie. Like I would have just rather just a movie about witches. Who cares? At a dance academy, you know? Just like doesn't need to, I don't know. Cuz also the ending feels like once again this whole remake, you know, if it's the same, what's the point? But the twist, while a good idea, just also feels like, yeah, but in mine, she's the fucking mother. You know, like in my version, like it flips it on, everything's like flipped on its head.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just like it all felt like very conscious, which I mean, yeah, it should be, but if I felt that while I was watching it. You know what I mean? And I think that's what also I was talking about when like I feel like I kept being pulled out of it, you know, by the fact that it's a movie. Like I could see the choices happening, I guess.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Did you get into this film expecting it to be great? Did you go into expecting to be better than the original, or did you go in with zero expectations?
So. I mean, I was hoping that it was going to be good. I was trying to, you know, go in objectively, but I was like really excited to see it. Yeah, I was hoping it was also going to be different, and it was.
It's definitely different.
But yeah, it's just I just didn't think it was successful at what it was trying to do. But it's that like on like I understand where all the ideas of what it's trying to do are coming from, but in the end, like it's kind of boring to me, honestly. I just was kind of like, oh, this is just long, and like every now and then something really cool would happen, but I don't know. It just I don't know.
What about the scene? I really enjoyed the scene where like the cops are like bewitched.
Yeah, that scene was cool when she had
they're like under a
stick and stuff.
Yeah, they're like under a spell.
Yeah, that scene was amazing.
I would have liked to see more of that.
Yeah, there's all these like cool nuggets, you know. It's like that scene was like weird and disturbing in a different way, because it's like, what the fuck is this?
It's like just clearly like, witchcraft, right? Like
yeah, they're just like laughing at him and stuff. It was amazing.
And then my thought was like, why isn't she responding in a different way? But makes sense later. She knows about it. But at the time, it's like, that's weird. Why doesn't she say anything to her friend? And like, why she just like find delight in it, you know?
Yeah. Totally. Well, she's a weird character because it's like, I guess it makes sense because of what happens at the end, that she's just kind of feels empty the whole time. But I guess, like, while that's an interesting idea, like, does watching this empty character, like, make for the best viewing of this story, I guess?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It's like the idea of having her be the mother the whole time is cool, but like if this movie was just about the witches and then she wasn't necessarily like a lead character that we see on her own, and then they plan to sacrifice her and then she just is like, well, the whole time I've been this. It's just like I couldn't get into her character because she was just so vacant seeming, and like I understand why that is.
Yeah.
But it just felt like there should be more because there's more of everything else. And like I'm not going to say that the lead character in the original was a fully fleshed out character that I was engaged with, but I think the goal of the original is much more simple. So if you make all the plot elements and everything else more complicated, I would hope that like that aspect of the movie would also ramp up. But it felt like it didn't, and then at the end I go like, oh, I guess that's why. But like, is that an interesting 2 hours? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Random thought. Another instance of good editing. There was bad editing. There was good editing. The dream sequences I thought were really well edited.
Yeah, those were
cool.
Well edited.
Those are cool. Yeah, just wanted to
cool.
throw that out there because I just thought of it.
No, definitely. I loved the like weird one where it was like a chrome hand on like underwear, and then there was just like a worm in the foreground.
Yeah,
it's like, all right, like I liked all that imagery and stuff, like the breaking mirror and slow motion, and like I was in on that.
That was cool. Getting back to the Doctor, I felt like there was a lot that they were trying to show with him, and I feel like his part just didn't need to be that big. And I know we already touched on it already, but like that's another idea that's kind of thrown in there about World War II and Nazis, and he was a Jew that sort of like buried his head in the sand during the war, and I'm just not really sure what that had to do with the other messages.
Yeah. It not much, I would say, honestly.
I guess the only thing is like he doesn't listen to women, he doesn't listen to other things, and he always turns away from conflict. But when he finds out like witches are a thing, he does go there and try to like make up for it basically by trying to care for Mia Goth's character. And then he becomes concerned, but I don't know. It was just another disjointed aspect of the story, and but I did find the whole part with his wife coming back or whatever, and like him being dragged to the school and then her disappearing was heartbreaking and really effective.
Yeah, it's a cool idea.
It's like a cool idea for the spell to like fool him into going there, and then the witches like grab him, and to make it not even subtle, the witch clearly says, you don't listen to women and look what happens, you know. It puts the message front and center, but I liked that line. And getting more about the witches too, like I liked seeing some of like their lair. Like I liked how we found like that separate room behind the mirror, and you see like all these like witch like memorabilia, I guess, or like tools, and
there's the weird portrait like made out of like mud and like hair and like shit.
Like that's cool. I like that. And I thought it was interesting too that they just like kept the other girls as like these living corpses.
Yeah, it's creepy,
spooky. There is just some real solid stuff I loved in here, and I think ultimately I respect that it went for the moon and maybe didn't quite get to it, but it tried. And
yeah,
I find a lot. I like respect that a lot. And that being said, too, I did really enjoy my time watching it. I know it was long, but I enjoyed the ride, and I like witch stuff. I like horror in that sense of like demonic stuff, and totally fed into that. I just wish it was a little more focused and a little more fleshed out in some of its ideas. But it tried, and it tried to make it complex, and in many ways it succeeded. In many ways it did not, and it comes out a little imperfect, but it's sort of like a beautiful mess to me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I hear that for sure. And I do think that while it's all good intentioned, I just didn't enjoy myself watching it enough. You know what I mean? I just was very disengaged and was just kind of ready, especially after the big scene happened. Because there was like 15, 20 more minutes of that thing, and it was like, all right, this is a lot.
Yeah. I
think for me, I guess I'm kind of realizing as I'm talking about it, I think if Dakota Johnson's storyline holds this movie down, because it's clearly more interested in other things.
Right.
Like, and I think it being Suspiria brings the expectation of her storyline when really I don't understand what there is about her storyline that's interesting aside from what happens at the end. Because there's no mystery. There's no one figuring out what's going on because you already know exactly what's going on, and she already knows exactly what's going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
she's playing,
I guess
playing like she's not. Or she doesn't know.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't know that she does, but still, it's like it just didn't. It feels tied down by that. And once again, I'm not saying that like it shouldn't have been Suspiria because it taints the original, or like it's not even like the original Suspiria. It's just that I think it would have been more interesting if it was a different movie. And I think parts of it felt, because they went so bold with it, it felt kind of scaled back and it felt patched. I think it comes off as like a little indulgent because it didn't throw me where it was initially setting to. It felt like a slight backpedal to me, I guess.
Yeah, definitely a lot to think about, a lot to discuss. I feel like it almost needs like a retrospective viewing and discussion, and, you know, because it's so.
Yeah.
I know there's more to this that I'm not saying, but I can't even like.
Yeah, I can't
spew it all.
Really think of anything. Yeah.
I think we just might as well wrap it up there, but yeah, I feel like that's a good ending point.
For sure.
What would you rate it?
Probably 2.5.
Damn.
What about you?
We solely disagree on this one, bud. I'm going 4.5.
Damn. All right.
Yeah. Just I really enjoyed it.
Hey.
And
good.
Flaws and all. Yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm sort of shocked. I thought you would like this more, but I see where you're coming from. You know, I'm not.
For sure. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I'm not. Based on your explanation, I'm not shocked by how you feel about it. Crazy. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for our review of Suspiria. As always, you can find other episodes of this podcast on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and YouTube.
Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. If you enjoy the show, please consider leaving us a review on iTunes. Every rating brings us more listeners.
You can email us at listentousrantaboutmovies@gmail.com. Thank you to our Patreon producer, Sean Pierce, and our other Patreon supporters.
And you know that you also can be a supporter of the podcast by visiting our Patreon page and becoming a monthly patron for as little as $1 at www.patreon.com/LTURAM podcast.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode, Zach. Good talk. Lot
man.
to discuss.
For sure. Until next time, bud.
Until next time.